Deep within a high-security military prison, alarms blared as red warning lights pulsed against cold steel walls. The facility's defense systems activated, sealing every possible exit, while armed guards scrambled to contain the breach. In the heart of the complex, submerged in darkness, a figure lay dormant within a containment pod. Then a flicker. His crimson eyes snapped open, glowing like embers in the void. The Black Phantom had awakened. With a single movement, he shattered his restraints, stepping onto the cold floor. Security turrets whirred to life, automated drones locked onto him, and electrified barriers flared, but none of them could stop him. He moved like a spectre, weaving through the chaos with effortless speed. Gunfire erupted, yet all the bullets hit was empty space. Moments later, the Black Phantom had vanished into the night, leaving only destruction in his wake. Far from the chaos, in a quiet town, a far different scene unfolded. Inside a small home, Azure, the blue speedster, sat with his closest friends, the brilliant Sky, the two-tailed mechanic, and the ever-strong Titan, the Red Warrior. A beautifully decorated cake sat in front of them, marking another year since Azure had arrived in this world. Sky grinned. "Hard to believe it's been this long. You've been running circles around us since day one." Titan smirked, crossing his arms. "Just don't get soft with all this cake eating." Azure laughed, lifting his fork only for a sharp knock to echo through the room. The air grew tense. Exchanging glances, Azure walked to the door and opened it. Standing there with a grim expression was Director Graves, leader of the military force. "The Black Phantom has escaped," Graves announced. Azure's ears perked up. "Sounds like fun." His signature grin spread across his face. Sky and Titan exchanged uncertain looks. This wasn't just another rogue warrior. This was someone who had defeated them before. Graves sighed. "We need you. If we don't stop him now..." Azure cracked his knuckles. "Well, what are we waiting for?" And so, the hunt began. They didn't have to search long. In the heart of the neon-lit city, he stood waiting, arms crossed, his red eyes watching them with an almost bored detachment. Azure wasted no time. "All right, Phantom, you want to do this the easy way or the fun way?" The Black Phantom didn't respond. Azure lunged forward, a blue streak cutting through the air, but Phantom was faster. He sidestepped effortlessly, vanishing and reappearing behind Azure in an instant. Before Azure could react, a sharp strike to the back sent him tumbling across the pavement. Sky's eyes widened. Phantom was faster than Azure. Titan roared, charging forward with a powerful punch. Phantom caught it mid-air, twisting Titan's arm just enough to send him staggering. A swift kick sent the warrior crashing into a parked car. Azure dusted himself off, a smirk creeping back onto his face. Okay, that was impressive. But the Black Phantom was already gone, melting into the shadows like a ghost. Back at military headquarters, Commander Holt stood before them, a conflicted look on his face. "There's something you don't know about the Phantom," he admitted. With a press of a button, a classified file flickered onto the screen. In 1974, Holt began, "We discovered something, a meteorite unlike anything we had ever encountered. Inside, we found him. He wasn't born, he was created. And so, we experimented, tried to understand what he was. But things spiraled out of control." Before Azure could process what he'd just heard, an explosion rocked the facility. They were under attack. A swarm of unmanned drones stormed the base, their red optics glowing menacingly. Gunfire erupted, alarms blared, and chaos consumed the headquarters. Amidst the wreckage, Commander Holt stumbled forward, blood trailing from his lips. He thrust a digital keycard into Azure's hand. "Don't trust the military," he whispered before collapsing. While investigating the drones, Agent Vance made a chilling discovery: they weren't military property. With no other choice, Azure and his friends were forced to do something unthinkable. They joined forces with Dr. Radcliffe, a longtime enemy, to track the source of the attack. Their search led them to an abandoned research facility, one that held an even darker secret. Inside, Radcliffe found someone he never expected, his own grandfather, Dr. Elias Radcliffe. Elias revealed the existence of the Eclipse Cannon, a space-based weapon capable of wiping out entire cities, and it required 2 key cards to activate. Radcliffe was fascinated until he realized the truth. Elias wasn't just targeting the military. He intended to wipe out humanity itself. Even Radcliffe, with all his ambitions, was horrified. The Black Phantom, fueled by his long-harbored resentment, successfully stole the key cards. In the process, he gravely injured one of Azure's closest allies, Tobias. Enraged, Azure did something he never had before. He abandoned his friends. Consumed by vengeance, he took the Master Core, its power transforming him into Super Azure. Their battle took them to space, where Super Azure and Super Phantom clashed in a cataclysmic duel, shaking the very fabric of the Eclipse Cannon. Azure's anger fueled his strikes, but Phantom dodged effortlessly, until, at last, Azure hesitated. Through labored breaths, he locked eyes with Phantom. "I've lost someone important too," Azure said, "but revenge won't bring them back." Phantom froze, a ghostly memory surfacing a girl who once stood by his side, taken from him long ago. Meanwhile, Elias cackled, preparing to fire the Eclipse Cannon at the planet below. In an ultimate act of defiance, Radcliffe, Sky, and Titan worked together, forcing Elias into the core of the cannon. The weapon misfired, obliterating part of the moon instead. But its core was overloading. There was only one way to stop it. Phantom made his choice. He and Radcliffe pushed the cannon deep into space, disappearing in a brilliant explosion. Back on Earth, Tobias recovered, and Azure reunited with his friends. But while exploring a hidden laboratory, Azure stumbled upon something terrifying: robotic clones of himself. Before he could react, a mysterious pink warrior appeared, saving him from an ambush. Meanwhile, floating in the silent abyss of space, a figure drifted among the stars. A pair of red eyes flickered open once more. The Black Phantom had survived.